Kenvians, and welcome to a new episode of Papa Kenn Plays Doki Doki Literature Club. After the traumatizing end to the previous episode, while I was editing, I noticed something that I looked over while I was playing, or rather while I was going through stages of grief at the death of Sayori, and I noticed that it mentioned actually a file missing, or a file line missing. So I actually, just to see what might be up, I went to the Doki Doki Literature Club game files. And that's what you can see on the screen right now. So the file that was mentioned is traceback.txt. Now there's a few other files on here that I haven't looked at yet, but I have looked at this one. So go ahead and open it. And it's a curious bit of a log file, or traceback file to say the least. So while running game code, restart top context. Oh geez, I didn't break anything, did I? Hold on a sec. I can probably fix this, I think. Actually, you know what? This would probably be a lot easier if I just deleted her. She's the one who's making this so difficult. Ah ha. Well, here goes nothing. What? Now, I can only assume that this means that the game is taking, it's taking some inspiration from this old indie game called I'm Scared, which is a game that, as you would play it would create text files, it would sort of manipulate files within that folder, and I'm guessing that's what they're doing in this game. Yeah, it's the exact same thing there at the bottom with the full traceback. So yeah, I'm guessing that's the kind of freaky horror they're going with. Now, taking that into account, there appears to be a loud vehicle outside. The first thing I want to look at is it said it deleted her. So does that mean it deleted Sayori? And there's a characters folder here. Ah! So we have a Monika file, a Natsuki file, and a Yuri file. And the Monika file appears to be significantly bigger than the others. Huh. I don't know if that plays anything, but all the same, Sayori is not there. Now, I've never heard of a .chr file type. Maybe it's just something that the creator of this game set up for the purpose of this game. I have no idea. But let's check out one other thing that I noticed in here. Because I actually did look at the log and readme files, and they were fine. However, we have a .png file here called Happy Thoughts, except there are X's where the A in happy is and the O in thoughts should be. And I wanted to save this for when I recorded, so let's see what Happy Thoughts are. Oh. That appears to be Sayori, a crudely drawn Sayori, and there is a rope behind the character, over the character. I'm going to keep this file, well, not this file open, I'm closing that. I'm going to keep this folder open over to the side, just so I can keep an eye on whether anything changes. as I'm playing. I don't know if it was actually changing anything beforehand, but now that I know it's there, I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on it. So, let's fire up Doki Doki Literature Club and get back into this. Because when it restarted last time, there was just a garbled text. Okay. Speaking of garbled text, the start game, or new game, is glitched. And then where Sayori was, we now have a bizarre / terrifying amalgamation of the other three. I'm curious where it's going to go from here. Okay. Oh, wait a second. It didn't actually show you all anything. Oh, recording. OBS, you better be nice. Play nice. There we are. Okay, so yeah, I should have been paying attention to the recording, but apparently display capture doesn't work the same when the game's running. I don't know. Regardless, just to recap, the start game is glitches. The text is glitched. Where Sayori was is a terrifying amalgamation of the other three. And before I click on here, first of all, let's check out load game. Okay, all of the save slots are gone, because it said last time that the saves were corrupted, or at least the one I tried to click on, which apparently just deleted everything. That's awesome. But I did have a guess as to what the rest of this game is going to be. My guess is that we're going to have to perhaps try and figure out who or what did this to Sayori. She mentioned that Monika told her to do something, so maybe it was Monika that, influenced her to commit suicide? I don't know, but, yeah, I had thoughts, but at the same time, I didn't know they were going this direction. I thought the glitch text was just where it did a sudden reset on me last time, but apparently not. So yeah, let's get back into this. Oh, the music is out of tune. Or at least the guitar is. And again, we have the glitched text. I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. By the way, stay hydrated when you're mentally scarring yourself with these kind of games. This is actually flavored water. LaCroix. Okay. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let it. '" ... 'Let... 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 ' Okay. So we're starting over again. And things appear to be back in tune. This game's going to be messing with me more. Great! It's an ordinary school day like any other. Mornings are usually the worst, being surrounded by couples and friend groups walking to school together. Meanwhile, I've always walked to school alone. That's different. I always tell myself it's about time I meet some girls or something like that. But I have no motivation to join any clubs. I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average. On the average? It seems like a weird phrase. Maybe, I don't know if that was said before. Anyway, while spending my free time on games and anime. There's always the anime club, but it's not like there would be any girls in it anyway. You never know. I mean, I know a lot of girls who really like anime, personally speaking. But anyway, regardless. The school day is as ordinary as ever. Are you sure about that? And it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. There really aren't any that interest me. Besides, most of them would probably be way too demanding for me to want to deal with. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Kenn? Now, last time Sayori came in, but she no longer exists? So... Ah! Hi, Monika. Monika?
Oh my goodness, I totally didn't expect to see you here. It's been a while, right?
Sure. Yeah, it has. Monika smiles sweetly. I don't trust you anymore. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talk, but we were in the same class last year. Monika was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically, completely out of my league. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... terrifying? What did you come in here for anyway?
Oh, I've just been looking for some supplies to use for my club. Do you know if there's any construction paper in here? Or markers?
I guess you could check the closet. You're in the debate club, right?
About that. I actually quit the debate club.
Really? You quit?
Yeah. To be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it.
In that case, what club did you decide to join?
Actually, I'm starting a new one. A literature club.
I don't know why I'm jumping so much. Literature? That sounds kind of dull. How many members do you have so far?
It's kind of embarrassing, but there are only 3 of us so far. It's really hard to find new members for something that sounds so boring.
Well, I can see that.
But it's really not boring at all, you know. Literature can be anything. Reading, writing, poetry. I mean, one of my members even keeps her manga collection in the club room.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's funny, right? She always insists that manga is literature, too. I mean, she's not wrong, I guess. And besides, a member's a member, right?
Did Monika say she?
Yes, she did.
Hey,
Kenn. By any chance, are you still looking for a club to join?
I mean, I guess so, but...
In that case, is there any chance you could do me a big favor? I won't ask you to join, but if you could at the very least visit my club, it would make me really happy. Please?
Well, I guess I have no reason to refuse. Besides, how could I ever refuse someone like Monika? Who is quite possibly an evil overlord trying to kill us all, and she already killed one of the members of the club, and we're all going to die! Anyway. Sure, I guess I can check it out.
Ah, awesome! You're really sweet, Kenn, you know that?
It's nothing, really.
Shall we go then? I'll look for the materials another time. You're more important.
And thus today marks the day I sold my soul to Monika and her irresistible smile. I remember that line, I sold my soul, and I think it was to Sayori and her club. I can't remember the exact quote, but in this game, did the character, like when he jokingly says he sold his soul, did he actually? Is that why this stuff like this is going on? They sold their soul, and they have to sort of do not exactly a Groundhog Day kind of thing, but if we're starting all the way over, some sort of time loop? I don't know! Anyway, I timidly follow Monika across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit, being generally used for third-year classes and activities. Monika, full of energy, swings open the classroom door.
I'm back! And I brought a guest with me.
What? I think it's because it happens every time I'm going to read a line that it's really upsetting me. Anyway. A guest?
Seriously, you brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Don't be mean, Natsuki. But anyway, welcome to the club, Kenn.
All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls, one of which may be a murderous psychopath. I guess we'll find out.
So, let me guess. You're Monika's boyfriend, right?
What? No, I'm not. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year.
Anyway, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual. And this is Yuri, the vice president.
So Sayori was the vice president before, but since she's gone, Yuri is the next in line? So she's vice president. It's nice to meet you. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. Yeah, it's nice to meet both of you.
So I ran into Kenn in the classroom and he decided to come check out the club. Isn't that great?
Wait, Monika! Didn't I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought anyone new? I was going to, well, you know.
Sorry. I didn't forget that, but I just happened to run into him.
In that case, I should at least make some tea, right?
Yeah, that would be great. Why don't you come sit down, Kenn?
The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner of the room and opens the closet. Meanwhile, Monika and Natsuki sit across from each other. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Monika.
So, I know you didn't really plan on coming here, but we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the Literature Club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone.
I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. Must be hard to start a new club.
You can put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting all the effort to start something brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki?
Well, I guess. Natsuki reluctantly agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monika must have worked really hard to find these two. Yuri returns to the table, carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot in the middle. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess.
Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you.
That's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. So, Kenn, what kinds of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga. I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet.
Not much of a reader, I guess.
Well, that can change. What am I saying? Excuse me. I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri?
Well, let's see.
Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger.
My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive.
Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seemed so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people.
But I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well.
Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of her own lack of imagination and completely throw you for a loop? Like the people who made this game?
Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately.
You don't say. I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped something I can relate to at the minimal level. Again, Stephen King, bro. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock.
I'd expect that from you, Yuri. It suits your personality.
Oh, is that so?
Really, if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment.
You don't say.
I hate horror.
Oh, why's that?
Well,
Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second.
Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud. Give that back. Fine.
Natsuki, you write your own poems.
Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care?
I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime?
No.
Natsuki averts her eyes.
You wouldn't like them.
Not a very confident writer yet.
I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Whew. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel more comfortable enough to share hers.
I keep adding words in and leaving out words. I must be tired. I guess it's the same for Yuri. We all sit in silence for a moment.
Hey, I just got an idea. How about this?
Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika.
Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then, next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. I thought it was a good idea.
Well, I think you're right, Monika. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I did decide to take the responsibility of vice president, after all. I need to do my best to nurture the club as well as its members. Besides Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well, Kenn? Hold on, there's still one problem.
What's that?
Now that we've reached the most important topic, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Monika may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and, okay, in this particular situation, it's more acceptable because it's not like he waited a super long time and he didn't wait until after, like, being served cupcakes and stuff like that to bring it up. It's more understandable situation. I lose my train of thought. All three girls stare back at me with dejected eyes.
But... I'm sorry, I thought...
Huh. The girls exchange glances before Monika turns back to me.
I guess I need to tell you the truth, Kenn. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form an official club. We need 4. And I've been trying really, really hard to find new members. And if we don't find one before the festival...
I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? So dumb. I would feel terrible for letting everyone down in this situation. And besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed. So if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls... Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up.
Woo! Oh my goodness, really? You really mean that, Kenn?
Yeah. It could be fun, right?
You really did scare me for a moment. I mean, if you really just left after all this, I would be super pissed. Kenn, I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this. You're really amazing. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay?
Ah, thanks, I guess.
Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share.
Monika looks over at me once more.
Kenn, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself.
Yeah. Can I really impress this class star Monika with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. I guess I'll be on my way then.
Okay. I'll see you tomorrow then. I can't wait.
With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the 3 girls, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monika. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. Or one of them will end up killing us because apparently someone is capable of controlling the files of the game and is probably self-aware. Ah! And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. You have unlocked a special poem. Would you like to read it? Today I cut my skin open for the first time. It was exhilarating. I think I understand how blank feels now. I'm supposed to be the responsible one, though. So I don't think I'll be doing it again, unless I decide to kill myself. I left a memento of the occasion below. Okay. Okay, so back to the poetry writing, and we only have Yuri and Natsuki to choose from this time. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is, and I don't know how different it's going to be exactly, but since last time things ended up being aimed more towards Yuri, this time I'm going to try picking the words that are aimed more toward Natsuki and see how that changes. Because I'm curious to see if Yuri perhaps has memories of what came before, or if any of the characters have memories of what happened before. I don't know, I'm just interested to see what happens there. But that's going to be the end of this episode of Papa Kenn Plays Doki Doki Literature Club. It's definitely startled me a few times, but overall, it seems to have sort of gotten a balance back of sorts. So, yeah, until next time, everyone, when we continue into this and I write the poem, I'm Papa Kenn, and I will see you in the next episode of Papa Kenn Plays Doki Doki Literature Club. See you next time!